Coming up on today's show, we continue our celebration of the Alien franchise and finally get a chance to break down the 1979 classic original, Alien.
Wait a minute, this movement.
Stay tuned. Welcome to Scary World, where we walk you through the latest and greatest in the world of horror. I am your host, Arturo Padilla.
Hi.
For those of you just joining us, we have one major rule around here. No spoilers. Now that we got that out of the way, there are 5 categories: production, story, ensemble, horror, and legacy. Each category can score up to 2 points.
Showtime.
Per IMDb, the synopsis goes: the crew of a commercial spacecraft encounters a deadly life form after investigating a mysterious transmission of unknown origin. Director Ridley Scott showcases his amazing talent behind the camera in this movie. This is just his second directorial feature film, and he made sure every stage of the filmmaking process was perfectly executed. This entire movie looks great.
It's gotta be a way to come in.
Scott made sure that every shot was perfect, it was impactful, it was meaningful, and really stood out in the frame. The production also makes great use of practical sets and tangible props. I love the interior of the ship and how the actors are able to interact with it and other practical locations. I just love how Dallas was able to put a card into a slot and that slot would open and these buttons would light up and everything would just work in tandem. I think they did a great job making sure these sets were as real as they could make them in order for this whole story to just stand out and to pop.
My God.
Being able to interact with real things in front of you definitely helped the performers get in that proper headspace they needed to be in order to execute their roles properly. Aside from all the practical stuff, the filmmakers also made great use of CG. They made sure it was used appropriately, making sure it was seamless and not a hindrance to the entire production. And for the awesome execution we get on every level of the filmmaking process, Alien receives a big old 2 for production. The script and the story was written by Dan O'Bannon. This was his second feature film and story. He previously wrote Dark Star, and after this he went on to write notable films such as Return of the Living Dead and Total Recall, just to name a couple. Here in Alien, Dan O'Bannon is able to create a terrifying slow burn with a fantastic payoff. The script flows very well, making sure to hit all the proper beats along the way. The tension and the suspense is built beautifully throughout the course of the movie.
Oh God, it's moving right towards you. Move, get out of there. Why'd you move?
It uses every second to make sure the audience is as terrified as the crew of the Nostromo. The action picks up in the middle of the movie, heightening the scare factor. The third act really shines, and it is one of the best endings in horror film history. This story and this script entirely is absolutely perfect. Dan O'Bannon cannot have created something more excellent than he did with this story. From start to finish, this story is captivating, it is entertaining. I've watched this movie many, many times, and every single watch, it gets even better. That is because of the excellent story that Dan O'Bannon wrote, along with the excellent production that Ridley Scott was able to accomplish. And for story and the awesome script we get by Dan O'Bannon and the awesome acts 1, 2, and 3 and that ending that we get in this movie, Alien receives the full score of 2 for story. The entire ensemble was excellent. All the actors involved portrayed their characters perfectly. They were all exact pieces to this very complex puzzle, and they all executed their jobs at a high level. Sigourney Weaver especially was fantastic as Ellen Ripley. Her performance is what made this character special and iconic. She exudes confidence and leadership throughout her performance, and it just gets better as the movie goes on. Ian Holm is another one who should be commended as the character Ash. He is fantastic as an antagonist. His take on this character is unforgettable and just outright evil. Ian Holm knew exactly what his job was and when to start turning that screw bit by bit. He does a fantastic job as this character Ash. The rest of the supporting cast as well does a great job with their characters and also make up a memorable cast. This is what I really loved about these Alien movies. Alien, Aliens, and Alien 3 all had a great ensemble. This is one of the best parts of this franchise. They gathered a crew of actors, and those actors were able to execute those characters perfectly. They were able to amplify the story because of their performances. They were able to elevate everything because of their performances. That is what you get when you have a great ensemble cast. And for the great cast that we get and their great performances, and no matter how big or small that screen time was, these actors knew exactly which buttons to press in order to make sure these characters all shined. And for that, this movie scores a 2 for ensemble. There was plenty of horror to go around. There's great use of gorgeous practical blood and gore in this film. The chestburster scene alone is iconic and all practical.
Oh, God!
That execution of that one scene is what I call elite filmmaking, folks. It's all practical, and what's cool, it's the bunch of the cast that were in that scene didn't know exactly how that was gonna all go down. So the reactions you get are genuine and they're natural, and this is what happens when you have practical stuff on set, folks. Magic happens. The alien itself was all practical, and that design is simply unforgettable. Balaji Badejo, the actor inside that suit, does an amazing job with that performance. It's everything you want from a xenomorph, which is something no one's ever seen on screen before. So this is absolutely unforgettable and very memorable. And I love that it's all practical. Imagine having this guy running after you on set in this suit. Man, I can't even imagine how terrifying that is, especially in those practical, awesome sets that these actors are in. This thing was just a joy to watch. They were really able to make the horror in this movie feel tangible and real, and it shows on screen. You see it in the faces of the actors when they see this thing on screen. You see the terror and the tension on screen with these actors as well. You feel it. You feel the suspense. You feel the emotions that are on screen. You feel the horror that is being output on the screen. And this is one of those few movies that everything just clicked. For the awesome alien and the awesome kills that we get and everything that we see in front of the screen, the icky face hugger, the egg opening up, all the practical gorgeousness, this movie gets full score of a 2 for horror. You can't get any better than this. And the execution in '79 was just mwah. This movie is a masterpiece and showcases what horror cinema can be when everything falls in place just right. This is the mother of all sci-fi horror films, folks. From the camera work, to the ensemble, to the awesome practical effects, to the story, this film was and forever will be a game changer in the horror genre. And for the amazing characters we get here, Ellen Ripley, the Xenomorphs, the Nostromo, Weyland Yutani Corp, for all that awesome stuff and that awesome legacy, man, this movie gets full points of a 2 for this category. The legacy this leaves behind is absolutely enormous. And what happens after this in Aliens is fantastic. Like, this whole franchise is absolutely filled with memories and unforgettable characters and antagonists and just events, memorable events. So to tally it up, Alien received a 2 for production, a 2 for story, a 2 for ensemble, a 2 for horror, and a 2 for legacy, bringing its total score up to 10. We've had an awesome week here at Scary World breaking down the initial Alien trilogy. And if you have not seen any of these movies, please go out of your way and watch them all. They are all streaming now anywhere you can find them.
Can you tell me what time it is?
And that's a wrap, folks. Thank you for watching Scary World. Don't forget to drop a comment down below and hit the thumbs up on the video. Most importantly, do not forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We have spoiler-free horror movie reviews for you guys dropping every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So please tell all your friends, your family, and their pets to come on down and subscribe to our YouTube channel on CorpseFeed. And don't forget, we also have the official CorpseFeed podcast dropping every Tuesday, anywhere you get your podcast streams. We are also on all the social medias. We are there, folks. Go like, subscribe, and share. We will see you on Monday for another episode. And remember, folks, it's a scary world out there, but we are here to walk you through it.